All right, boys. I have a question for you that I think is going to lead really well into today's topic. When you went to a sleepover as a kid, were you a sleeping bag guy? Or were you bro, let me get that blanket, let me get that pillow.
Bro, let me get that book. Lay that book on top of it, bro.
When you rolled up to the sleepover, what were you bringing? Were you carrying a backpack?
I don't think I brought anything.
You just showed up.
Yeah. I want to say, like, why would I? So the thing is, I think I showed up with nothing, expecting nothing as well.
That's true. I will sleep on your floor.
I'll figure out.
Yeah.
Like, I assume I'm gonna pass out from playing GoldenEye or something.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna fall asleep like this. And that's how I'm gonna sleep.
So it's funny. So obviously, Zach and I.
Well, you guys had a couple sleepovers?
Yeah, we knew each other. You know, we met when we were 7. So yeah, we had a few sleepovers, and I think what we benefited from was the fact that each of us had a brother. So when we were doing that sleepover, I know my mom was kicking Nick out of his bed.
Oh, really?
Zach, you slept in Nick's bed?
I slept in Nick's bed?
Yeah, or I was sleeping in Nick's bed, and you were sleeping on my bed.
Your sister's bed.
Yeah. Well, what?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Which also I know.
What kind of sheets did you have?
What kind of sheets?
What pattern or what thread count?
No, I mean,
what thread count were you having?
When we were growing up, I don't know. I had one thread count.
Yeah,
just one giant
thread.
But like, what pattern did you have? You know, some dude coming over to your house for a sleepover, you gotta be like, you know, I got them Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sheets.
Yeah, Coop still has those.
I'm gonna be real. I don't remember.
Last time I
that
checked,
means you
Coop
had
still had
classic
Garfield.
sheets.
I probably did. I know Zach had like, I don't know, like Power Rangers and shit like that.
I think I had Power Rangers for a while.
That's a good one. Was it like all Power Rangers, or was it like a character?
It was like the original 5, you know.
Okay.
The squad.
I think they're still on a bed at your mom's
still on
house.
Tyler's bed or some shit, honestly.
I had Looney Tunes.
But Looney Tunes is a good one.
But like, you remember that random picture?
Ninja Turtles for once, but
remember that random picture from the 90s where it's like Taz and Buzz, like,
oh yeah,
that, I think it was like that kind of style Looney Tunes sheets. You know what I mean? Like, they had backwards hats on my sheets.
Yeah. I was cool,
I'm pretty
bro.
sure that my sheets were just like a solid color.
No, get the fuck out of here, bro. What are you, like, fucking 35 years old? A solid sheet color. 600 count thread.
You were apparently sleeping in the bed. Yeah. You had to go to Nick's bed.
Dude,
yeah, but that wasn't even like...
I slept in Nick's bed?
Yeah, you or me.
I think my memory's, like, fucked. Because I don't remember that. I just remember people, like... You'd sleep over, like, I'd go over, like, Sean or, like, Nick's house, and I'd just, like, sleep on, like, the floor and, like, use, like, a Dorito bag as a blanket, you know?
I got a question about that. So, I've noticed something, a very big difference between men and women, right?
Okay.
I have never, like, when I went to a sleepover, but I mean, like, I've never shared a bed. Like, when I went to a sleepover, we didn't share.
That is a good point. Yeah.
Women like to share beds.
Yeah. Producer Brandy talked about it with her
friend.
They would just share beds.
They shared bed, and I'd be like, I would sleep on the floor.
Mike's like,
you shared some beds.
I don't know if Zach remembers this, but Zach and I have shared a bed or two.
Or two?
Is it out of necessity though, or was it like, bro?
Yeah, Nick wouldn't leave.
Okay, here's a weird thing. Like, I distinctly remember when Zach... I remember when Zach came back to Newport News. So this was summer of 2000.
Back. I came.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I came back.
So,
we actually slept in my mom's bed.
Like she like gave you guys the big bed.
She
gave us room for activities.
So my dad was underway.
Yeah.
He was on deployment. She was sleeping on the couch.
Man, imagine if your dad knew.
Yeah, that
we were sleeping in
two
his bed.
Fucking 12-year-olds were sharing a bed.
I don't remember this at all, dude.
But yeah, you know, my parents had a California king.
Yeah.
And
we were
the shorter but the wider, right? That's a California.
No, it's like the same length.
It's the same as a king, but it's also longer.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like the biggest you can get.
Yeah. For some reason, I always thought California kings like the reason why they call them California Kings instead of just like a random other size
so
is like I thought it was shorter and wider.
A king is the same length as a queen, but wider.
Yeah.
Oh, and then California King.
California is like it's like even wider. I think
wider,
I
longer.
just confused myself.
So you basically had way more space than 2 twin beds.
Yeah,
near
we had a lot of room that I don't remember.
And Zach was like, we had a lot of room distance-wise.
Yeah, I could just sleep on this edge. You could sleep on that edge.
Did you guys do the classic
what the butt?
Yeah, no. the head at the feet. You know what I mean? Like the inverse?
No, we cuddled.
Dog, there was so much room in this fucking bed.
Okay, so like you're telling me, Chris, that you never
shared a bed with it? I mean,
I shared a bed with Coop.
See, now, I wasn't going to bring that up, but now that you did.
Oh, yeah. We did, actually, for a while.
So, like, was it a waterbed?
You were going to bring that up.
You had a waterbed?
You was going to bring that up.
I had a waterbed?
Yeah.
It's kind of badass.
Yeah. So, like...
My parents had it for, like, the
Bjork
90s.
Had a waterbed.
So I wish
Bjork... I wish Bjork was here instead of... But I mean, like, I wish Bjork was here to talk about waterbeds. He had a waterbed.
Who did?
Bjork.
Really?
Yeah.
Josh. The fuck?
Defend waterbeds, Josh.
Yeah, defend it. Well, have you ever slept in one?
Nah.
Have you?
Yeah, my parents used to have one.
Yeah, I mean, that was theirs, and then they gave it to us. Like, I don't understand the appeal. I guess is what I'm getting at. You know, like...
I woke up seasick every day.
That shit was... I guess it's cold?
It's like a big balloon. It's cold? Okay.
It's a big balloon.
I kind of interested now, because I feel like I sleep hot.
I also thought, like...
listen.
I also feel like, in the 90s, that was, like, luxury. You're in a
waterbed? Oh, I got that waterbed.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in a waterbed.
So it's funny.
You want to have sex in a waterbed? You want to have sex on the ocean?
My neighbor had this waterbed that was like chambers. So instead of the whole thing being you just fill it up,
it
was like 6 or 7 different, like chambers that you filled up. So it was like, and that was like high luxury. Because like a waterbed,
the pinnacle.
Waterbed actually sucked. You would get on it and would like slosh around for like 20,
you
30
couldn't
minutes.
Like go up to pee in the middle of the night. My home dude would get flown off the fucking bed.
Yeah.
Because you get up and the water goes a big wave.
But yeah, when you were saying share a bed, so Zach and Coop had this big ass fucking waterbed, and
both of you make sense though for sharing beds.
I shared bed with Coop when my grandma died. We were up there and we just like I remember I just slept like straight up.
Also,
I was like, I am not curling.
Also, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's because I'm in the military and whatnot. If we were going somewhere, and so like when my brother got married and we're doing like bachelor party, I don't see an issue with sharing a bed. Yeah. So like I remember one of his groomsmen.
Mike, my dick gets cold. Hold it.
I
don't see a problem with this at all.
Yeah.
Well, one of his groomsmen was like, "I'm not sharing a bed with a guy." I'm like, "What's the issue?"
Okay,
like,
that was kind of always like really the problem though, right? I mean, stayovers and sleepovers is that somebody was always like, I don't want to, because like Dylan stayed over at our house a lot, right?
And he slept on the floor.
He slept on the floor like fucking face down, dude. I don't know. Like you throw a pillow at him.
That's classic Dill.
Yeah, you look down like Dill's like passed out. Here's a fucking pillow, dude. And then he just like lays on it.
I was a fan of the old beanbag.
The beanbag.
Yeah.
I think Dylan was a big fan of the Dorito bag as a blanket.
Do you think it's... Do you think it's a product of...
just like unravel.
Yeah. Do you think it's a product of having like a brother or so?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the big difference. I think
you already have a dude in your room, right?
Well, and then like on top of that, like we would go to like usually like my grandmother's house. It'd be like, hey, you sleep on this couch, you sleep on this couch. But there were times that we go up to the cabin and it was like, you got to share a bed. I was like, I don't give a fuck, man.
We're poor.
Yeah.
We're sharing beds. Yeah.
I'm just here to hang out on the lake. I give 0 fucks about where I'm sleeping.
But I guess the expectations were never high for a sleepover.
Yeah, first
you kind of assumed that it was going to be the coldest night of your life.
Yeah.
Where you thought you would probably die.
Also,
because you're like, I am freezing. And it's like probably 75 degrees in that house.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God.
Okay,
it's
so
like the tundra. So you never, Mike. Let me ask you this though. So in your entire sleepover career, yes.
Sleepover
career, yes.
Have I slept on the floor?
Have you had a situation where you're using like a blanket, like a pillow cover?
That's a coming of age experience.
Or like you showed up wearing a hoodie on purpose.
Yeah, so you're like,
it's like midsummer.
Yeah,
and you're like, I got a hoodie on. I'm like, why? I need this later.
Yeah.
And then
I'm experienced.
Yeah, I know. I sleep over a lot.
Okay, so
veteran.
It's funny.
Never
that you
happened
say
to
that.
you?
So my parents, like we had 4 kids, and then my parents, so there were 6 of us. My parents would get one hotel room, right? So it was weird because sometimes I didn't necessarily get a bed. Like,
you have the foot of the bed.
Sometimes I remember there were times that I would sleep in a chair. I would sleep in 2 chairs. I'd sleep on the floor. Like, I was kind of that middle child. So, like,
you were kind of built for the Navy.
Yeah.
Because in the Navy, you gotta sleep in like fan vents and shit.
Yeah.
Like cleaning stations, more like nap stations.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of curious because like you grew up as the second dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you grew up as the first brother.
Top dude.
You grew up as the first brother. So like I bet like, when you go to a hotel room and they have those day beds at the foot of the bed, I bet your brother scooped that up. Where like you grew up and you can be like,
well, I
that's
think
mine,
also,
Coop.
I think also the thing is like me and Coop were close age though, so I think Nick got away with like he was getting older, closer than you were, right?
Right.
So they're probably like Nick needs like a bed.
Nick's
Mike can deal with it.
It was weird too because I remember like a bed. Like they're like, okay, we have 2 kids we can put in a bed. Nick, obviously, and I remember Katie used to get the other side.
Really?
So,
of Nick?
Yeah. So like,
he was the oldest son. She's the oldest daughter.
Yeah. And then like I would sleep in a fucking chair.
Yeah.
Like I remember that. So like rolling up.
I kind of want to say I don't remember many hotels.
we too didn't do a lot of trips.
Just blocked it out of my memory. Did you get a lot of luxurious hotels growing up, Chris?
We did a lot of the room connected hotels.
Shut the fuck up.
No. We didn't even do a lot of hotels.
Yeah, there's a lot of motels, Holiday Inns.
No. We didn't even do a lot of motels. Like we didn't. Our traveling was going from here to Wisconsin.
Well, it was always families near. We can visit that.
And even then, like
your Uncle Jimmy lives in Kissimmee. We can figure something out.
Yeah. Right.
Oh wait, he lives in a trailer.
We'll figure something out.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Chris has this like down pack. Like Chris has a very kind of like sultry, like smooth.
I think that's like what I'm trying to get everybody. That's why I moved up for you, so you can be more sultry.
Yeah, but Chris is smooth. He's just like, hey, welcome to Gin and Sofa. And I'm just like,
hey,
woo! Like I'm on cocaine.
It's because you're excited to be.
I was like, stop doing
like you
cocaine.
said, passion.
Just the passion.
I got passion.
I got passion.
I'm
passionate about making drinks, and I made this drink. Would you guys like to take a drink?
Way ahead of you. Initial reaction, very nice.
Very nice. That's a good reaction. Better than the other way.
Let's get Potozik's first.
Yeah.
Reaction.
Slurp that down. I think it's pretty good. He's
making sure he got a lot of flavor. That was a big sip.
Yeah, that's like half a glass, dude. You didn't have to take all that.
Nodding his head.
Okay. Well, I'll go first then.
Okay. All right.
Because he's going to sit there and suck on it. Don't just suck on it. Talk about it. It's good. It's sweet. It was designed to be sweet, so success.
Yeah.
This is the High Seagrams for High C, but we use Seagram's gin. And I know you love Seagram's gin.
I had a lot of reservations about this.
Shit.
As one does when Seagram's is involved.
Yeah, because we all were involved in the what we call that, the forgettable or the ruby red or who?
Yeah,
I have forgotten.
That thing was rough. No, this.
I've pissed all over myself. The problem with all this ice is like it just sweats all over you.
I definitely think you kind of. I think you hit it out of the park as far as like, yeah, I mean, you are working with a bottom shelf liquor, and I'll tell you right now, I would probably order another.
We got a probably.
Yeah.
We got a probably.
You should probably tell them what's in the high Seagrams.
We'll break it down. Again, we forgot the bottle. Classic us. It's Seagram's. I don't know what. Just Seagram's gin.
Seagram's gin.
It's usually around the floor or the bottom shelf area at all your local liquor stores. It wasn't like specially mailed in or anything. And we did 3 ounces of high C lava burst. Or is it orange lava burst?
Yeah.
Orange lava burst.
Was it always called orange lava burst?
I feel like it was. I thought it was just orange.
Yeah.
I personally, I mean, as a kid, like I just know it as orange, you know?
Yeah, I think they might have like made it seem cooler.
I think they added lava burst.
Yeah, to make it seem like badass. Funny thing is, it's clear now.
Oh.
It's less lava burst looking.
Did it say no artificial colors?
I don't know. I didn't read it.
Yeah, I didn't read it either.
I didn't read anything.
I know now we've kind of got out of the 90s
I know. I bet
making everything.
I'm sure they're like, I always remember if you got it at like McDonald's out of the fountain, it was orange as shit.
Yeah.
Now that shit was
But now, wasn't that a different flavor? The one.
Is it not lava burst? It's just orange? Is that the one we're thinking about?
I feel like the orange high C from McDonald's was its own thing.
Like it's like carbonated also compared to uncarbonated.
Well, this is not carbonated.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But
so,
like you're saying.
Yes. So 3 ounces of the orange lava burst high C, and then 2 ounces of the Seagram gin that we just talked about. Once I found out that it was clear, I wanted the orange color, so I added half an ounce of Aperol.
Right.
And half an ounce of Saint Germain to give it a little sweetness.
Yeah.
A little floral sweetness.
Now, I could be remembering this wrong, but didn't we add an additional 3 ounces of high C?
We did not.
Okay.
I decided to do the Saint Germain instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then once you shake it all up in some ice, you pour it in, and then dash 2 to 3 orange bitters on top to really strike home that orange flavor. If I had like I guess you can always go over a little over top too and get like an orange slice and just kind of what I like. I like to rim the glasses. So
I do think it fits with the theme of today's topic. Like I know you wanted to make it elevated, but I do feel like the topic, the reason why you're making a high Seagrams,
right?
I think it fits the topic. Like I think this fits. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say this, but it fits the topic.
This fits.
I don't want to be the person to introduce the topic. So if you want to
go ahead.
Well, he made the high Seagrams, brilliant name. He made the high Seagrams because we're gonna be doing a bracket a little bit different than normal, where like we're gonna stop at the final 4 because the regions mean a lot. It's essentially 4 individual brackets, and we're gonna make the ultimate 90s sleepover.
Right.
Like
experience.
Experience is a great word. Yeah. And I think this fits with that because like high C makes an appearance on the list,
and it's a very memorable juice.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I think this fits because it's like my parents weren't giving me high C and then slicing off an orange. I like that it's not as like
kind of.
You like that it's
yeah. I think it fits the theme better when it's kind of like just the orange
simple
color and
it's just kind of like
flavor.
A sweet drink, but doesn't really have a flavor. That's a high C thing, right? You're like Capri Sun. You're like, oh, this is just kind of like sweet,
right?
I don't know what it is, but it's not. It is not a Pacific Cooler. This is not what Pacific Cooler tastes like. All right.
So I personally, as far as drink goes, sure we could have picked another gin, but I like this. I like this enough, and like I said, I probably would order another round. I don't know. I think this is a good sipper, and
I wonder, does Seagram's make a high shelf?
I just can't imagine they do. Maybe I don't.
Yeah,
know.
I think you remember like when I first started drinking, it was like I was a 7 and 7 guy.
7 and 7.
Yeah. So I'm not as strongly opposed to Seagram's as you guys are. Only because like I feel like you guys have better palates. Like you can taste the things.
I will say that I can't really taste it in this.
Yeah, I think it was you played to the name, High Seagram's, and you wanted to mask the fact that it was Seagram's. And I think honestly, I think you knocked it out of the park. I would order another round of this. Here's the thing though, I would order another round if I would order another round if I was at a bar where like Seagram's was their
well.
Yeah, know, like you're at a bar where they're mostly like beers, but for some reason they got
Yeah, they got Seagram's, they got
some orange juice,
Jim Beam or something.
Yeah.
They got like the
I'd order another round of these there.
Well, and obviously, this is kind of one of our more I say simple, but I still feel like you kind of went out your way to you had
Saint Germain makes it classy.
Elevated.
Ups the class element.
I mean, you kind of had to add a few things to it to kind of perfect it, but like I'm just thinking. So I'm just gonna say, like I said, I'd order another round, so I'm gonna give it 3.
Give it a solid 3.
I'm just thinking if you put like gray whale in here, it'd probably be a 4.
Oh, right. Yeah,
the drink. You rate the drink in front of you.
So I'm going with a 3.
I understand your thought process. I guess what I think is that the whole idea was like I added these ingredients to mask the gin. So if you did put gray whale, you might not even taste the gray whale.
Yeah,
because it's covered up with what we put in it.
Well, and then if we put the gray whale in there, we might even have a different drink because it could have just been gray whale and high C.
Yeah, because that was like originally what we all discussed, right? It was like High C and Seagram's, and just call it High Seagram's. But then it was like, it might be too. I probably should have just tried it. I was just so scared.
I mean, but I also know we not to give anything away, but we did take a little sip of our first concoction.
Edit that, cut that out.
Yeah, it was.
No,
it was a little more. It was a little rougher.
3 is good. It's good.
Yeah.
Three's good. It's a B.
Is that what you you gave it a 3?
Yeah, I think I give it a 3.
And Chris, you gave it a 3, right?
I would just I'd get another one.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more though. I guess the thing with me with the drinks is that sometimes it's too. It's not too boozy, but it's sometimes there's orange and those cherry flavors can kind of give me a headache.
Yeah.
Right.
After a while. That's the only thing I'd be worried about. But I'd get another one.
Yeah.
Seeing, I know for me, if I get another one, probably just going to stick with it. Get another one, then another, and then
not mix it up.
No, and then you get to a point that you've kind of tricked yourself into thinking they're really good,
That's true. You said I'd choose 3. I would order another round of these. I think because I'm imagining this is a great drink when it's this is probably, if it wasn't for the Saint Germain though, I would say this is probably one of our most almost affordable drinks. You know what I mean? Yeah. We tend to use higher quality ingredients and simple syrups, and we didn't do all that. This feels like a very the place that would have this on the menu. I'd definitely order.
Yeah, right.
I'd probably pull a mic and finish my night with it because I'm like, okay, I'm safe with this.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, these are probably
$5, not gonna break the bank.
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah, Saint Germain's pricier, but I wouldn't say it's out of.
Oh no, reach, but I just mean Seagram's is definitely a like you said a bottom shelf, and High C is I mean, you
comes
just
in a
recently
12
bought
pack.
them.
Yeah.
It's probably.
I bought 2. What did they come in?
What were they, like a 2
8-pack?
for
An 8
$5?
or 12 pack, you know?
8 12-pack. I bought 2 of them, and it was like $4.
Yeah. So this is a drink for all.
Yeah.
The profit margin on this is high.
Yeah.
I'm gonna charge you $15. It cost me $3 to make.
Right on. So 3's all around.
3's all around. It's a good one.
That's kind of a. I'm not gonna say that's surprising, but like I'm looking at the board right now, and the Eagle Eye was also a 3, and the LimeWire was also a 3, and I was here for both of those, and I feel it's been a while, but I feel like that Eagle Eye, and that was kind of simple as well, but
I think a 3's a good spot to land when it's like simple ingredients, and 3's all around. This is a 3 drink. All right, everybody. So we're actually going to be doing the ultimate 90s sleepover, or as Petosa likes to call it, the slumber party.
The slumber party.
slumber party.
Yeah. Sexual adventure.
So we're going to we have 4 different regions. This is the overarching bracket. We have 4 different regions. We do movies, we have snacks, we have video games, and we have toys.
So snacks, though, has / drinks, right?
Yeah, snacks / drinks. Excuse me. You're right.
Yeah.
Snacks / drinks. A little caveat to this. I do want to mention this. Pizza's already included.
Right.
Yeah.
What
pizza are we doing?
Pizza Hut stuffed crust. And I don't know how you feel about it, Chris, but I feel like between Zach and I, hands down, 90s Pizza Hut stuffed crust. That changed my fucking life.
I agree it's stuff, but here's you both mentioned this. I think you both did pepperoni.
Yeah. I mean, I love pepperoni.
That's always my biggest thing.
You
Is
did
I'm
like
like,
pepperoni
cheese or sausage?
All right.
Chris, we'll get half cheese.
Yeah, I show up at a slumber party and someone's like, "Yeah, my mom ordered pepperoni pizza." I'm like, "Thanks."
I'm leaving.
I'm like, "Why didn't you just get cheese?"
I'll see myself out.
Okay, so, and you know what? If you told me ahead of time, I would get half cheese for you.
Right on.
So,
Half cheese.
Well, it's already
here, though. It's already here.
It's essentially half pepperoni because the other part is
sure. Oh,
Sorry.
I would get a half and half.
Yeah.
Half pepperoni, half cheese.
Here's the thing though. My topping that I would have loved was always extra cheese. But anyway,
Sure.
you guys mentioned Pizza Hut. My family, I was always a Papa John's.
Always.
I never remember ordering a Domino's.
We were very Papa John's heavy, but like I feel like it was a treat because almost everyone else got Pizza Hut. So you go to a sleepover, you're like, they got the Pizza Hut, or they got that CC's.
CC. I feel like CC's.
We always got
That's
Chanel.
a good one. Chanellos.
I love Chanellos.
Yeah.
I even love their subs.
Chanellos, bro.
Yeah.
If we got Pizza Hut stuffed crust, it was a special occasion.
It was when Zach was coming over.
Yeah.
Slumber parties rolling up.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous you guys actually had. So a lot of these voting ons, you guys are gonna be like, I remember when we.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm about to be like,
okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, you were saying. So the brackets are.
Yeah, the brackets
divisions,
are
Yep.
movies, snacks / drinks, video games, and toys.
Yes.
Do you guys have a vote for which one you want to start with?
No.
All right.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. I think we'll just do region 1. This is movies.
Yeah, so I guess we already said we're building the sleepover experience.
Yeah, the ultimate Friday night.
And so the dinner's already the pizza.
Yep.
And these sections, these divisions are the
things you do there.
the things that are happening, the activities, the whatever that are happening at your slumber party.
We're playing a little
Game
video
Boy.
games. We're watching a movie. We're playing with some action figures.
Yeah.
We got some snacks.
Okay.
All right. Region 1 is movies.
Okay.
Movies.
Like we always do in these brackets, we randomized the matchups. We randomized all that stuff.
Yep.
So some of these, honestly, it's all about seeding.
It is. It's all about the randomness.
And before we get into it, as always, I'd just like to say I appreciate you guys for inviting me to another 90s topic.
Yeah, that is essentially what I
Yes.
think 90s, I think you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, take that however you will, but that's the way you've been
labeled. D9, like
you've been labeled
can
as the
11
90s guy.
This is the first matchup. The first matchup of the movies bracket for our Ultimate 90s Sleepover overarching bracket. But
overarching, yes.
The first matchup is Rugrats movie, but we're using that to kind of signify Nickelodeon.
Right.
Okay.
So like if you think Wild Thornberries movie, I think Hey Arnold did have a movie, The Jungle Movie, but that for some reason it came out like late.
Okay.
But like we're using that to signify the orange tape. You remember the orange?
Yeah. They knew what they were doing.
Nickelodeon movie versus, and I think this is kind of a heavyweight matchup. Rugrats movie versus Mortal Kombat.
Ooh.
Number 1.
Okay, and Mortal Kombat represents kind of the action.
Yeah, the action-y, like someone might have...
we're putting on some beefcake.
Yeah.
Boys are hanging out, we're eating some Doritos, and we're watching buff dudes fucking kick ass.
It's like the movie that maybe
it's
like
not gay at all. It's pretty straight.
It's like when you rolled up to Blockbuster and like it maybe was the movie your dad got.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like,
I got Die Hard 50.
Yeah.
And you're like, hell yeah, let's go.
Let's check that out.
Let's check out Bruce Willis.
So for me,
but Mortal Kombat was one we picked. I personally wanted because like I feel like it was mid 90s and it was such a influential like action movie, especially because it crossed that video game to movie like bridge.
So for me, I actually think it's kind of easy for a sleepover. I'm getting Mortal Kombat.
He's getting Mortal Kombat.
You got nothing else on it? That's it.
I do just want to make
a Mortal Kombat. We're gonna watch that.
Why?
Okay, so like I don't know, Nickelodeon movies. I really like the Nickelodeon shows, but like most of the Nickelodeon movies never really did it for me. Also, like I'm just thinking, like we're hanging out, we're having a good night, like we're probably drinking, you know, maybe some pop, you know, have good soda.
Things are getting a little loose.
I want something, you know, action. I want something, you know. Yeah, I'm probably watching Mortal Kombat.
Up in Nick's bed, just kind of.
I see what you're saying.
Pop.
Do you want to take the next one? Or you want
poppers?
Do you want to give your vote?
So before I do this, I just want to bring this up that last time we did the bracket thing, we did like so since you kind of voted first.
Okay.
Then like maybe I vote first the next matchup, then Chris does first, and we kind of rotate through. That way, like
we'll rotate.
Yeah. That way, like, cause sometimes you get this uneven, like if two people already voted on something, you're kind of point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All for it.
Yeah. I'm personally gonna go Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Because I'm an action guy.
Yeah.
I like buff dudes sweating on each other and fucking each other up.
Yeah,
and, you know, little action Jackson. Which I wish I would have saw that. That would have been the ultimate sleepover movie. Let's watch Carl Weathers. Half nude fucking up dudes.
Never saw the movie, but kind of want to now.
Yeah, well,
you should.
I'm glad we convinced you.
Yeah.
Chris, were you gonna? Did we ruin the thunder?
No. I don't think so.
Steal the lightning.
Like when I think Nickelodeon movies, I feel like that was a safe pick in the sense of like parents probably rented tons of slumber party movies.
Slumber.
Yeah, I remember watching the Rugrats movie at a slumber party.
You're starting to call it slumber parties.
Oh yeah, why did you do that?
What the fuck are you doing? It's a sleepover.
Sleepovers.
It's a hangout. An overnight hangout.
Where you just fall asleep.
With dudes.
Because you're just hanging out.
You just fall asleep in the same room. Happen to fall asleep.
But like you're when I remember Rugrats movie kind of sleepovers.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat ones would have been elevated. That would have been like I went to a cool sleepover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's why
I think it would also kind of go with we were talking about in earlier segments about like the parents, right?
Yeah.
If a parent sees you watching Mortal Kombat, they might be like, "Whoa, dudes, that's a little violent." But if they let you watch it, like this guy's cool,
right?
This house is cool.
Yeah.
I will say that I don't remember particularly, but I feel like Nickelodeon movies were like too late to the game compared to like Disney movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Disney movies made it well earlier in the 90s, and like Nickelodeon was like, well, I guess we should make movies. And like Wild Thornberries came out like 98 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Disney movies felt like. I mean, obviously, it started as Disney movies, and then they had the
made,
shows,
like, cartoons.
whereas Nickelodeon had shows, and then they made movies.
But I guess what I'm saying is, like, they probably could have capitalized earlier. But yeah,
sure. Agreed.
Next matchup.
All right, next matchup. Matchup number 2.
Number dose.
We have a Tales from the Crypt.
Okay.
Which represents
like a scary movie. Represents the movie maybe you watched out. You know, your parents didn't rent it for you, but like you guys were like, "Hey, my parents are watching Tales from the Crypt."
Right.
Let's hide behind the couch.
Yeah, let's like hang out.
Take a peek, brother.
Tales from the Crypt versus the original. So Pokemon movie number 1.
Pokemon movie number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. With Mew at the end, right? Mewtwo?
Yeah, Mewtwo is the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, he's
the antagonist. Yeah.
Antithesis.
So Pokemon movie number 1.
I had the first vote, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Tales from the Crypt scary movies.
Okay.
And that's because I remember not necessarily Tales from the Crypt. I remember getting things like Leprechaun, Stillskin.
Were those movies your parents would they rent those and be like, "You guys can watch this," or did you like your parents would rent them and then you'd be like, "Hey, when my parents go to sleep, we're gonna
like
sneak
find
that."
a way, particularly when we got like teenage years, we find a way to get those.
Yeah,
I don't know why we were allowed to get those. like I remember Leprechaun where like a dude's head falls on someone's windshield. You know what I mean? Like he like cuts a dude's head off.
Yeah.
And
clean off.
Or it was like Jack Frost was a big
one. That's a big one.
And I remember like
for those that don't know though, we're talking about the Shannon Elizabeth Jack Frost.
Not the Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah. Shannon Elizabeth getting banged in a bathtub by Jack Frost.
By a snowman.
Yeah. A man of snow. So, and I remember there's specifically a scene where like the kid gets his head cut off by a sled and it flies through the air, and we're just like, wow. And I'm like, why the fuck? Looking back,
let us get this.
Yeah, looking back, you're like, why are we watching this? This is a bit extreme. Right. But like, I always feel like that was the go-to.
Yeah,
it was either an action or a scary, you know?
Right.
Okay.
So I guess I'm gonna lean to that.
You're gonna go Tales from Crypt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna differ.
Okay.
I'm gonna differ. I remember like
to differ.
There are so many. I guess Pokemon was huge in terms of like who I was hanging out with. But I remember so many times being like, "You got that Pokemon movie though?
Yeah, that Mewtwo.
You got that Pokemon movie though?" Like I can think of at least 3 separate instances where I had like a sleepover, and we watched Pokemon the first movie.
Wow.
And like not being mad about it, like watching the movie. So I'm gonna lean Pokemon movie.
Okay.
I'm gonna lean Pokemon movie. Which drops on Potozic to be the deciding vote.
The deciding factor.
All right, well, I'd say of the two, I am also leaning Pokemon movie.
Wow.
Yeah. So
what a hot take.
I'm actually not the biggest scary movie guy.
Okay.
And
I see.
I remember.
You don't remember any scary movie sleepovers?
Well, yes. Zach and I were at the same sleepover.
I remember the Jack Frost day.
I remember Jack Frost. I remember the Leprechaun. If there was Dragon Ball Z or Pokemon, I'd rather see that.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Was the one Burley was in Dragon Ball Z movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. I'm going Pokemon.
Okay.
Oh man, so Pokemon through.
Okay, Pokemon went through.
Upset number. No, I'm kidding.
This goes to the third matchup. And I think this is going to be an interesting matchup because I have a question about it.
Sure.
We have Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Which represents to us sports movies.
Okay.
And then we have Goofy Movie, which represents Disney movies.
All right.
So we've got a Space Jam versus Goofy Movie / Disney movies.
Sure.
Okay.
My question is, which one does Mighty Ducks fall under? That's both a Disney movie and a sport. I think it leans sports. I think it leans sports.
Yeah.
Sports.
Look, if a dude threw on Space Jam, hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be Space Jam. Space Jam's my vote.
Easy for me. I do like Goofy Movie. Great movie, underrated. Space Jam. I'm going Space Jam.
Yeah, it's gotta be Space. They got the soundtrack too.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And everyone's just jamming out the Space Jam.
I had the CD.
And then the movie is that the credits at the end. They play that song. Yeah, everyone's singing it. Almost the same way everyone's singing that Mortal Kombat song at the end. Well, you can't really sing
which song?
Which one?
Wait, which song was Space Jam?
Space Jam.
Everybody get up.
Time to dance now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's like 6 or 7 songs I still listen to from that album.
Oh, well,
Like you're talking about the Monstars
like
anthem?
Fly Like an Eagle, whatever.
That's a great song. R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly.
That my
we're
son.
We're naming the whole.
I got you, but mostly Space Jam.
My son really likes the song
Theme.
Basketball Jones.
Theme song.
Chris Rock.
Yeah, Chris Rock and
That's
Barry
a great
White.
song.
CB4.
Basketball Jones.
Yeah, and Kid's 2.5.
Basketball Jones.
It's just like, Dad,
Oh, that's a good song.
can you play basketball,
Damn, I haven't
Jones?
thought about that song
Is
in
this Osmosis
forever.
Jones?
That's a great movie.
That's a great movie. Osmosis Jones.
All right, so Space Jam, clean sweep.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep.
Yeah.
Mike, you got the first
Were you
vote
shocked,
for
or
this.
is that,
I
like,
think this is going to be. I'm
it expected?
interested. I think it was. We're not.
I'm not a big Disney guy.
I don't know about. I knew you and I would probably easily drop Disney, so I knew it would go on probably.
I like Disney movies. That wasn't my favorite. I know we were saying it could be any Disney movie, but I really like Space Jam.
Yeah, it's a good movie. All right, this is your first vote. Yep. I'm interested because I don't know which way you would lean. I could kind of guess Zach's kind of Heavyweights.
Okay.
Versus Jumanji, the Robin Williams
vehicle.
Yeah.
So which genres are you saying each one is carrying?
This is interesting because like Heavyweights, I don't know what it represents. Like kind of the comedy.
It's like a Disney comedy.
Yeah.
Because it is Disney as well.
Yeah. Jumanji to me represents like maybe they might toss on
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire. It kind of represents to me
Flubber.
Flubber. Oh, Flubber's a great one to throw on there.
You know.
It represents like the Robin Williams of the 90s movie to me.
So
I feel like I just realized we're kind of missing one. It's like the comedy, like the Jim Carrey.
Or the Adam Sandler.
Or the Adam Sandlers.
That's true.
But was that maybe because we're just too young?
I don't remember watching an Adam Sandler. I do remember watching a Jim Carrey.
Lot,
yeah, I remember watching Liar Liar.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching Jim Carrey movies. I don't remember watching. I feel like Adam Sandler was like
a little
parents.
more adult.
Yeah.
I watched both of them.
I mean,
congratulations on all your success.
Yeah, congratulations.
Which way are you leaning?
It's a little tough for me. It's kind of a toss-up, but I'm just gonna go Jumanji.
Oh,
yeah. Reason why, I think for a slumber party, I'd probably go a little more action, a little less comedy.
It is more of an action movie versus like comedy.
Also, we were kind of going with if you're kind of opening it up to Robin Williams movies, maybe a hot take, maybe not. I really like Hook.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think it's a hot take. I mean, I think maybe it's an odd top.
Yeah,
for Robin Williams for sure.
So I mean, like I guess I'm just saying, like I would take Jumanji over Heavyweights, and then if you're like, hey, well,
Patch Adams.
Yeah, I really like Hook. So,
okay, all right,
yeah.
all right.
Okay,
so Jumanji edges out.
Jumanji.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Heavyweights.
Okay.
I'm a big Ben Stiller guy.
Yeah.
And Tony Perkins rules.
Tony Perkins rules.
I'm Perkicizing Tony.
I've got to lean Heavyweights as well. I think
bring
just
it home. Bring it home.
When I think Heavyweights versus Jumanji, I like Robin Williams. I like Mrs. Doubtfire. That's one of my favorite.
Williams guy.
I used to tell people when they were like, "Why don't you have a dad?" I was like, "Robin Williams is my dad."
Didn't you say your mom said that?
No, she told me Tom Cruise was my dad.
Cruise was your dad.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's
your dad on screen, brother.
That is the first rounds of the movie's bracket. Moving on, we have
Wait, I'm sorry. I might have been spacing on it. Who won that one?
Your mom.
Heavyweights.
Okay.
Heavyweights.
Sorry, Mike.
Have
you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen Heavyweights.
It's the prequel to Dodgeball.
Do you guys want to move? Do you guys want to move on to a different bracket, or do we want to shore up the movies?
I kind of like to shore up.
Sure.
Just know what the ending one is.
We'll go through the move. We'll go bracket by bracket.
Okay. All right.
Keep it that way.
That makes sense to me.
That way, it's easier for listeners to. Guys, you degenerates. We haven't said degenerates in a while.
We're here for the degenerates.
Yeah, you degenerates can follow along because I know your attention span's nil.
All right.
Milch.
So then our
It's
first
about the size
match
of my
of the
penis.
second round
Tiny.
is the Mortal Kombat movie
I love that movie.
versus the Pokemon movie.
Ooh.
Two franchise-defining maybe movies.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat movies got franchise-defining features.
And who's got this one, Zach?
Yeah, it's Zach
My
is
first
the
pick. I'm gonna go Mortal Kombat
Mortal Kombat.
because I could watch that movie right now. If you guys want to watch it,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm down. We should do a review of that, by the way.
I'm all for it.
It's interesting
And make a
because
scorpion
like
drink.
to me it depends on which sleepover we're thinking, but for me, I'm thinking like my 11, 12, 13, 14 sleepovers. So not too young. And Mortal Kombat has the added benefit of Sonya Blade.
Veronica Vaughn.
Veronica Vaughn.
Things are changing in your body.
So hot.
So
Want to touch
I've
tiny.
yeah, I've got to admit, Mortal Kombat gets the edge. Like this is a tough matchup. I think we both are huge Pokemon guys, but
I don't think it's that tough. I too was going Mortal Kombat.
He's like, I'm gonna help you out,
I
brother.
guess for me
I'm
it
gonna
was a
bring it
little
home.
because like I love Pokemon. I love the first movie. I remember going like I remember like begging my parents. I was like, I want that Mew card. You've got to let me go see it in theaters. And like my dad took me on a date. Like he was on a date
dad
with
took you on a date,
yeah.
huh?
He was on a date with
Allegation.
someone, and like he was like, "I'll buy you a ticket. You go see Pokemon movie."
I'm gonna go
Me and
fingerprint my
yeah.
date real quick.
So they went like I remember seeing Pokemon movie in theaters, like by myself.
His dad would
Okay.
fingerprint
You know.
a lot of people in theaters. That was his MO.
So like, but that's the reason why like Mortal Kombat edges the
Yeah.
sleepover part is like I would
Yeah, you've seen it in theaters.
yeah
Pokemon. And I think that unless you want to go ahead and take this, Mike, but I think Mortal Kombat, like, we're like preteens and like action kind of like gets our dicks hard.
Well,
You
I
know?
mean, we were actually
Beefy
we
dudes.
were very much kids when
Beefy
these
dudes without
movies
shirts
came out.
really gets our
Yeah.
dick hard, you know? Sweaty, beefy, muscly, jacked.
Again, I just know more kind of that action. I'm just thinking about a sleepover. You know,
Mm.
we're not sitting there through a drama. We're not sitting there through a rom com.
Sleepless in Seattle for you?
No, like
No, you got mail?
if Zach
Tom
is
Hanks
coming
vehicle?
over my house,
Maybe a
you know,
Meg
and he's
Ryan
like, "Hey,
vehicle?
I brought Mortal Kombat from my house." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
put that shit in
It's
there."
kind of sticky,
Do
though.
it.
When the Liu Kang shows up, I get
Yeah.
a little
yeah.
worked up.
All right,
All right,
Like Shane
so
Song, you can have my soul. No.
next
Veronica
matchup.
Vaughn. Yes, next matchup.
Next matchup. You just did that one. All right, so I'm gonna
I
get the
did,
first
yes.
vote. We have Space Jam, which represents sports movies, and Heavyweights, which represents a different kind of sports movie.
yeah. Which
Yeah.
also represents sports in a different way.
This is tough.
This is tough.
This is tough because I don't know. I love Heavyweights. Great movie. A lot
It
of
is a
fond
good-
memories associated with Heavyweights. I'm gonna give Space Jam the nod
Okay.
because it has the soundtrack.
Sound.
Like if all movies were if these
Great
two movies were
soundtrack.
equal to me,
Mm.
then I'm like I've got to look at superfluous,
yeah.
you know,
Extracurriculars.
extracurriculars, and the
Yep.
soundtrack. You gotta give them an
playing
extra
footsies?
point.
Yeah, I'm touching your foot. You gotta. You like
All
that?
right.
You like that?
a little bit. I too am going Space Jam.
Oh,
So I've seen Heavyweight maybe once or twice.
Haven't seen enough.
I watched Space Jam maybe 2 years ago.
Have you seen the new one?
I'd prefer not
I
to.
haven't seen it either. I was
I'm-
curious.
I
how
don't know
bad
if
it
it's
was.
good. I don't know if it's bad. But you know what? I don't want it to.
I don't even know why they made it.
I just don't want. I don't want to.
yeah.
I haven't
so no.
seen the original Space Jam in a long time, but yeah, maybe I should.
I watched it a couple years ago. I thought it held up. You know, a little 90s, a little cheesy, but no, I still thought it was great. And when my kids get a little older, I'm gonna show Space Jam to them.
Right on.
The second one?
No, again, no, I don't know. I don't know if I will ever watch the second one.
I mean, I guess I would just say heavyweights.
To advocate.
Devil's advocate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It deserves it shouldn't be a clean sweep for Space Jam, I feel like.
It's a great movie. It's one of them summer camp movies, like Meatballs.
Yeah. I like a summer camp
I love
movie.
Meatballs.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. Bill Murray, though.
Yeah, we should see it.
Yeah.
It's Bill Murray. Oh, shit.
All right.
Anyway.
All right. So
next matchup.
This is the matchup to determine the
This
movie.
is the final?
Yeah, this is the final for
the
movie.
This is the movie we're taking to our sleepover.
Yeah, this is the movie.
Yeah, this is no fun and games anymore, boys. This is the real deal.
We have Space Jam versus Mortal Kombat. And that falls on you, Potosic, for your first vote.
Sucks and
going off. You know what?
Suck.
Either way,
think about what they're representing.
Yeah, sports movies or action movies. So either way, I'm not going to be upset. Like, because
it's a good way to look at it. That's the loser's mentality.
Well, because like one of the action movies I brought up was instead of Mortal Kombat, like The Matrix. And I'm like, man,
I brought up Street Fighter the movie. Fantastic.
Yeah, go
watch the review.
KCVD, brother.
Yeah. And then when you're talking about sports movies, you're talking about this or Remember the Titans or Happy
Mighty
Gilmore,
Ducks.
Mighty Ducks. Either way,
MVP,
Air Bud,
most valuable.
And it's
MVP
funny.
2, most vertical primate.
So if you're talking about the movie, I've got to pick. If you're talking about the genre, I've got to pick. So are we going more heavy on the specific
It's how you
movie?
feel. It's how you
How you
feel.
feel, bro? I'm not gonna persuade in any way.
It's how you feel. What? It's how you feel when you hear Space Jam versus Mortal Kombat.
That's true. That's also.
Well, you know what? Then I'm going specific movie. I'm taking Space Jam.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Specific movie.
Why?
Why? Because I would rather watch Space Jam over Mortal Kombat. However, I know, and that's just me. I've seen Space Jam more recent than I've seen Mortal Kombat.
My vote is Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and again, that's not going to hurt my feelings.
3 times before Brandy gets home.
Yeah,
and I have a good day. That is an iconic. To me, I guess sleepovers, not slumber. Maybe your slumber parties. You guys watch Space Jam and have a happy-go-lucky.
Your sleepover
camaraderie build up. My sleepover where we're sleeping with Dorito bags as blankets.
So again, for me,
it's a rough and tumble lifestyle, and we're watching Liu Kang avenge his dead brother.
Yeah,
and take out not Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung, and Johnny Cage being a badass, trying to get that Veronica Vaughn ace.
He does.
And he does.
So
and I want to be Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
For me personally,
Lindsay Ashby, if you know what I'm saying.
I think Space Jam is from the 90s. I think it's probably one of the better.
No, Space Jam, yes.
Yeah. I think it's probably one of the better sports movies.
Yeah.
When you're saying Mortal Kombat, I think there's other action movies I'd rather see.
I just think it's very representation of the 90s. I think it's fair. I actually think it's better than you think it is. As people go back, because I think we're not watching Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
We're not watching them blockbusters like Chris was trying to say earlier about in the theaters and stuff.
Yeah.
This is that I guess I like it a lot because I think of we're growing up with these games, right? Like Street Fighter. I think that's probably why I like Street Fighter the movie is because we grew up playing Street Fighter, right? And they make a movie. They made a fucking movie. And nowadays it's they're gonna make movies out of everything. We just watched Twisted Metal, the show. They made a show out of Twisted Metal, bro.
Thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
okay.
you wouldn't think about that in the 90s. You couldn't even think about that. And so excuse me, it was kind of dope as fuck because you're man, this is characters I know from a game that we can play.
Right.
And watch the movie at the same time.
Yeah.
That's really why I like it. But yeah.
Yeah.
Take it, Chris.
Yeah. So house divided right now. I look at things mathematically in my head.
Sure.
So I start them both at a level, and then I'm like, okay, add a point here, add a point here. This is an instance where like both have an iconic soundtrack associated with it.
That's true too. Yeah,
you know what I mean. They both have something that like stands out as like I can't give Space Jam that extra point like I gave them last round.
Yeah, right.
What I can give Mortal Kombat an extra point on is once again Veronica Vaughn. Sonya Blake,
so
like
hot.
there is
that ace is carrying the team right now.
There is
Team on her
absolutely no women in Space Jam. Lola Bunny, but that's a cartoon.
Sure.
Yeah, Veronica Vaughn or Sonya Blade put the team on her back.
She did,
and
she was Greg Jennings.
She Greg Jennings that shit, bro.
I got to give the nod to Mortal. I give the nod also to Mortal Kombat if I wasn't just voting based on looks.
Okay.
I got to give the nod because like I like sports movies. I love sports. Action, like you like watching action movies because you're like,
yeah,
this is sick.
Yeah, this dude's naked. No, this is beating ass.
So that shores up our
Darren Sharper.
That shores up our.
What do you know about Darren Sharper, Mike?
What do I know about Darren Sharper?
What do you know about him? One of the hardest hitting safeties in the NFL.
He was originally on the Packers. What do I know about Darren Sharper? Get the fuck out of here.
Greg Jennings.
I think he's in jail for rape right now.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to touch on that, but you know what?
Just FYI, we recognize that.
Not a
like
good,
not a good. No, again, as someone who picked against Mortal Kombat, either way, I'm not upset.
You led it with that, right?
Yeah.
And you're happy no matter what.
Yeah. I'm cool. Like, so we're coming into this sleepover, and right now you're bringing Mortal Kombat.
I brought the copy.
Yeah.
You brought Mortal Kombat. I've got Pizza Hut stuffed crust. Half pepperoni, half cheese. We're gonna have a good fucking night now.
Now we're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out. We can move on to snacks, video games, or toys. Do we have any
preferences?
Any preferences?
It's you said snacks, video games, or toys.
Yeah. I feel like video games follows nicely if Mortal Kombat the movie wins.
Yeah, I'm all for it. But with that, let's take a little break.
For what?
I got a tinkle.
Can you?
I can't wait.
You can't wait.
It's no worries.
Yeah. We're gonna take a little.
All right, we're taking a little break with Mortal Kombat winning the movies side of the Ultimate 90s Sleepover. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the 90s Ultimate Sleepover draft.
Yeah, Mike, you're pissing?
Bracket.
Sleepover.
Our next region.
Yeah. Barely a sleepover. One eye open, looking over at your dudes, making sure nothing nefarious was going down.
Hope not. We were 11 now.
But anyway, yeah, Chris.
All right, the next region of the sleepover sort of bracket is the video game region.
Ooh, I feel like
this is a vital region, bro.
I feel like this is probably one of the more, if not most, vital regions for a good sleepover.
This could be a make or break region. This is a heavy hitter region.
Not coming over again.
Yeah.
Sorry,
like if this was a category, it would be weighted more.
Yeah, we put Mortal Kombat on, but this game's suck. So I'm out.
You played Croc. No.
And again, I've already looked at the list.
Dr. Mario?
So I feel like I know we went with more like multiplayer games, which we should, but
agreed. I think part of the reason there's going to be a mention of that when a certain single player game does come up, but I think you're right. Like if you went to a dude's house and he had like a single player game and it wasn't even
like if you came to my house and I'm playing Ocarina of Time and you guys are watching me, that'd be boring as fuck.
Okay, but I mean probably I'll bring it up right now. Fine. I remember being. What do you think? It's peach ring sour from Cape May Brewery.
That is great.
We talk about them a lot. I feel like. I remember being at my cousin's for like a little sleepover or whatever, and he had like Mega Man X7 or 8, Mega Man 8. You know, one of those like newer ones, and like it was fine because we would just like you're saying trade off.
Yeah, I think that'll come up when we get to the
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into the video games. The first matchup. I think this is an interesting matchup. We've got Street Fighter.
Okay.
Versus Mortal Kombat.
Oh my god!
I think
already.
I think this.
You're right into it.
I think this is interesting because it's going to be kind of cool because these both represent that fighting game.
Yeah.
And now we're being tasked to choose between the two immediately.
Who had the first vote?
I think
I had the last first vote.
Okay.
So you've got the first vote.
I would say it's Street Fighter 2, right?
Yeah.
I think it's the more popular one.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 2.
Mortal Kombat?
Mostly because I had it. I didn't have Street Fighter that much. I played it later on. Or at like arcades and stuff, you know.
You also played at my house.
And like we really had Mortal Kombat 2 and then I think 3 when it came out. And I remember 2 being like a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'm going to based off nostalgia, hardcore,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of like Patoz mentioned in earlier when we were going through movies. This is one of those matchups where I don't think
either way
anyone's going to complain about what wins. To kind of make it hard for Patoz, I think I'm going to lean Street Fighter.
Okay.
I think it's because I remember being a kid and being like, Blanca is awesome. You know, I'm a Zangief guy as an adult, but as a kid, like, Blanca looked fucking awesome. You know what I mean? He does that electricity move, and I just remember thinking that was like the coolest thing. So I'm gonna lean Street Fighter just to make it interesting for this next pick.
And you actually didn't make it very hard for me. I had Street Fighter growing up. I'm going Street Fighter. Yeah.
So you were, but in a sleepover scenario, you wouldn't want to go Mortal Kombat because it's something
the game
different.
You didn't have. That's true. That's the thing.
You're like, oh, this is something I haven't.
Which is kind of which will come up later, but a very big thing was Streets of Rage. I didn't have a Sega, so going over to your house, was like a treat. Like you're saying.
So because I remember I had Street Fighter, you had Mortal Kombat, and I don't know if it was kind of because. I don't want to say it's the same game. It's not. You know, I don't want to do a disservice to the two games, but you know, fighter games are fighter games kind of thing. And
to a point.
To a point.
There are bad ones.
Like there was. I know going to your house with like Sub-Zero and like Reptile and stuff. Like there were some interesting characters. I just thought, Street Fighter. Yeah. There were also interesting
the characters are more interesting to you. I can see it.
The thing is, I thought Mortal Kombat would win. Like I thought I was kind of making it just, and making it interesting. But like the thing I remember most about sleepovers, Street Fighter doesn't have fatalities. Mortal Kombat, I remember being like, bro, let me do this move.
Yeah, some deep, some things my parents don't want to know I'm doing.
Yeah, and this was before like you could easily like just Google what is Scorpion.
Yeah.
So you had to like
if somebody knew it.
Like,
you hang out with this guy. And
I had
like,
really,
I know how to do the
I had really fond memories of like, hey, I'm gonna try back, left, right, down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like someone had that shit scribbled on a fucking notebook.
Yeah,
exactly. You down left, and you figure it out, and you're like, how the fuck do you find this shit?
But I'm not gonna change my pick. I think it's fine this Street Fighter. It's not
you're
a
not
bad.
To change your pick.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking mad.
It leads into the next matchup, and I'm gonna have the first pick here. Yeah. This is interesting because like the first one, which I think both represented fighting games, we have Streets of Rage versus Rampage.
Now that's Streets of Rage 2?
Streets of Rage
2. Streets of Rage 2 versus Rampage.
Streets of Rage is a beat 'em up.
And then what would you consider Rampage?
See, I consider that sort of a beat 'em up as well, in the sense that like
it's kind of like a destruction.
It's its own thing, but like I could see it representing beat 'em up because you do walk, you side scroll, you button mash, or
you destroy a city or whatever it is, the laboratories.
I'm gonna go. Here's the thing. I wasn't a big Streets of Rage. I wasn't a big Streets. I didn't even know what Streets of Rage was until I met Zach.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I had a PlayStation growing up.
Chris.
Rampage.
Okay.
I'm going Rampage.
I feel so bad that you didn't know what Streets of Rage 2
And this one's pretty easy for me. I'm going Streets of Rage.
I assumed you were going to go.
Yeah. And again, so you're talking about the beat 'em up. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would have been a good one, but Streets of Rage. Like I just remember.
Side note: have you played Shredder's Revenge?
Not yet, but I know it got reviewed well.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's definitely on the list.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it when we played it for a little bit. It's good. It's a good beat 'em up.
Yeah,
and Turtle. But go ahead. Sorry.
He chose Streets of Rage. That means it's your choice for the deciding vote. I feel like I know which way you might lean.
So, if you had to tell me what, I don't want to spoil. I won't say it. But Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage.
I was gonna say if you had to ask me what top 5 games for me, Streets of Rage 2 would be in there.
And it's funny because I get a lot of personal pride,
bro.
Because I know I introduced Zach to that game because I had it like we said earlier, I had a Sega, Zach had Super Nintendo. When we were at my house, that was probably predominantly the game we played.
Oh yeah, and like I was saying, that's like you were bringing up earlier, where somebody had a game that you didn't have.
Yeah.
So it was I'm gonna stay with Mike. I can play Streets of Rage too, bro.
And I know we played Mortal Kombat at your house, but we played other games at your house with the Super Nintendo. We really we had other games, but it was really Streets of Rage 2 is what we played.
I think that also we talked about it in our episode about 90s games or video games, but the difference between the SNES and the Genesis was Genesis tried to be hardcore,
right?
Edgy, and so when I would stay over your house and we play a hardcore beating up fucking gangsters in the alley,
right?
And it was one of those games that was funner to play co-op,
right?
Instead of Mortal Kombat 2 or whatever, you fight each other and that's it, right? Whoever wins, or Street Fighter, whoever wins wins. But when you're we got to work together to get to the end, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then it was just different to me than the usual shit. And sadly, for as great as SNES was and all the games they came out with, there was never anything like that. There was Spider-Man, Carnage, Maximum, Carnage or whatever.
But they also had that on the Sega.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But what I'm saying, yeah, exactly. There was never a dedicated beat 'em up for Super Nintendo or whatever. And I guess it just kind of struck a chord with me that I might have only hung out with you to play that game. I don't like you at all.
Me.
I don't like you. I just like playing that game with you.
It was between that and the fact that I had those sweet ass turtles.
Yeah, turtles. But I'm going Streets of Rage too.
Also,
not 3, not 1.
Shout out Streets of Rage 4. If you haven't played it,
I have it. Yeah,
fucking play that shit.
It's good.
Oh yeah, great.
It's a lot better than 3.
Let's not talk about 3 or 1.
It's a weird thing that 2 is the best of the trilogy. You think usually 1.
Yeah, you usually, but
so we don't want to get a tangent here. But
they perfected that 2. What a great game. Let's move on.
All right.
Four's good too.
The next matchup is Smash Brothers.
Okay.
Ooh, the original, right?
Yeah.
Super. Not Super.
64
versus Crash.
Okay.
Crash Bandicoot. And I think Crash represents, to me, at least, these one-player games where you trade off.
The trade-off.
Yeah, the trade-off kind of games.
Okay.
Who had the first pick last time?
Is that you?
Yeah, I think so, because it ended on you.
I think it was you. Yeah.
So you got the first pick?
I'm gonna go original Smash. I remember I didn't have it. I remember running it from what was it, Family Video or whatever the fuck it.
Video update.
Video update
up there on the Denby.
Yeah,
video update and movie scene.
Yeah, whatever they call themselves. I remember again the original Smash. I remember the commercials were hysterical.
They're kicking each other in the field.
Yeah, and seeing someone in a fucking Pikachu costume, and they're like in the field, and then they start fucking beating each other's ass. Like it was it's funny. I'm not the biggest Smash guy. I'm not a big button masher. Even though I do like beat 'em up games, I love Streets of Rage. To me, that's a little different than like Smash, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm going Smash.
Going Smash. I might go Smash too. Sorry.
Yeah.
Chris.
No.
I was trying to debate on whether I should make it on you or just end it. But
answer your true opinion.
Yeah, I think. Well, you kind of bit you in the ass last round. That's what I was like. So like, I think Smash was it's one of those like honestly, if you read or watch the history of Smash Brothers, like it was not supposed to be what it was.
Right.
And like the guy who pitched it, he got away with just saying it's gonna be a beat 'em up and like or a battle royale kind of deal, right? And he wanted Nintendo characters, and he was kind of like a I don't want to say like a throwaway staff member. And like when it became successful, he's doing good now.
Right.
But, I think it was one of those like weird twists on games that like brought everyone together. And it was like that time of gaming where like you can like 64. One of the advantages of that was you can have 4 players.
Yeah.
Without having the adapters and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was nice to you can have a couple friends over and we could play like Smash.
Yeah.
And everyone's got their own you love Zelda.
Exactly.
I love Metroid. You can pick Link and I can pick Samus.
Yeah, it had all the Nintendo IPs.
Yeah, and you love Pokemon.
Yeah,
so you can pick Pikachu. Everyone had like their like personal like person they could pick, and it like lets you pick them. And hey, I never thought of Samus blasting away Zelda or Link or Zelda. Like in the later ones, but like it worked.
Sure.
And it was a nice like we could just hang out and fuck each other up, and it was also like they made it playful. So you didn't really like Mortal Kombat where you're like murdering somebody.
Yeah.
You can just like knock them off a cliff. And I think it was just, I love Crash. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really play Crash too much until me and producer Brandy played it like a year ago.
Yeah.
And the remastered. And I mean, I love it. It's a good game, but I just don't think I played it enough. And I think it's just because I had a 64 and not a PlayStation. But I think the funny thing about Smash, one last thing, unless we talk about them again, I don't know, is the fact that people are just now so good at it. Right. It weirds me out. Because we were the original generation of that game concept.
It is an e-game now. Like there's like competitions
and like they're like really good.
It's funny too. I actually had to look it up because I didn't even know if I knew Smash came out towards the end of 64. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know if it came out in the 90s or 2000.
That is a good. I think it came out like right at the end of the 90s.
Came out April of 99. Wow. Yeah.
That's a good look up.
Yeah.
I just
want to make sure we weren't violating.
Yeah, that was just kind of weird that people now are just like stupid good at it.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes it not fun.
And I'm not.
No. What I'm saying
just
is
a
like,
button masher.
What I think is like I think like in 64 days it was okay because we were not good at it.
Exactly.
And then now if you play somebody and they're good, you're like, I don't want to play this anymore, dude. Like I'm
plus
okay.
There's something about an original. So like I totally get now like there's so many characters and there's so many levels and the new one's great. I've never been like the biggest Smash guy, but like the first one was just, kind of like a novelty for me, like, I'm like, man, you tell me I can be Zelda or Link.
It was kind of to the point.
Yeah.
There was no like, but Chris?
Yeah. I mean, Smash moves on, but Crash versus like Rayman, I think of Rayman. Yeah. I think of Croc. I think Spyro. Of like a lot of, these games where you really did just trade off, and I just want to give a shout out to them, but Smash was cool because it was also one of the first fighting games I remember, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, all those ones, they're round based. So you keep fighting and then It was like lives, but it was one of those constant action thing. It didn't have a break.
Yeah, you're back in there. Like,
you play until you like lose.
Yeah, for real.
So I gotta admit, like I played Crash. I played Spyro. I grew up with a PlayStation, where like you guys had the N64. So like in my mind, I think of sleepovers like I wanted to go to someone's house that had an N64.
So it's funny because I had 64, but we didn't have Smash.
Interesting.
We didn't have Smash
Nick
either.
Edmondson, shout out, brother man. I don't know if you're listening or not, or if you're dead or alive. We don't know, considering you putting things in your butt. But he had Smash, right? And that was like the first time I played it. And it's the same thing. Like you're saying is like you go over to somebody's house and they got it, and you're like, this is dope.
Let's hit that up.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna play it at home. And you go home and you play your Spyro, you play your Gex.
Yeah.
Gex. Yeah, Gex. These are all good games.
Great games.
Good games.
Crash.
But they're not good for sleepovers because
Mario
they
64.
are. Yeah, like you don't play at the same time.
Yeah. And the fact that you can do like 4.
Yeah.
Like for fuck's sake, you can have 2 other dudes.
Right.
Yeah.
Without their shirts on in your room.
Exactly.
And you're playing Smash.
Yeah. So you, me, and Chris could all play Smash
without shirts.
Yeah.
Without shirts. Yeah.
The option is there.
Exactly.
I'm actually excited about this next matchup.
Okay.
I think this is tough. But I'm looking at the list and a lot of Nintendo representation, and I think this is this one. I think Sony's got a shot. Okay. So I don't remember who was the first one on that last one. Streets of
I think it was
Smash
Mike.
Brothers. It was you. So this is your.
Yeah, because it went to me and then you. Yeah.
We've got GoldenEye. Which was a full disclosure was a late entrant. I think you brought that up. I think it was a great
What
mention.
did you kick off for? Do you remember?
Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
Shout out Pokemon Stadium.
Shout out Pokemon Stadium.
Great game, but I don't think it as far as like GoldenEye fucking
Can I just
created
say
a genre.
side note is that I think an underrated thing, honestly, would be hanging out with the dudes on a slumber party, and you have Pokemon Red and I have Pokemon Blue.
Yeah, trading.
And you're trading,
right.
and you're trading, you're battling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that's we're not going to talk about it because we don't have it on the list, but that was kind of a good activity to do.
Yeah,
right. You
agreed.
know, like,
you bring your Game Boy.
I got my boys in my pocket. Let's battle. You know, let's trade and battle, and then you get that Machamp.
Yeah.
But that's just a side note because Pokemon Stadium kind of brought that to the big screen, if you will.
We got GoldenEye versus Twisted Metal.
Yeah. PlayStation vehicle.
Good game.
Yeah.
Literally. Which we also mentioned the show is out now. And they mention Blankman.
They do.
And Twisted Metal, the show.
Shout out Blankman.
Which we reviewed, if you don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
And have you seen it yet?
I've seen the movie. I've listened to the podcast. Yeah, good enough movie.
Good enough.
Good enough.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah, good enough.
A classic, as John Doe says in Twisted Metal.
I said what I said. Good enough.
Yeah.
So you got GoldenEye versus Twisted Metal.
I'm first, right?
Yeah.
I'll preface this with I didn't start playing Twisted Metal till Twisted Metal Black on PS2.
Yeah, PS2. Yeah.
Which was like probably 2002, 2001-ish, you know. I love vehicular like combat games, and I wish there were more. For real.
We try to find some recent ones.
I tried to find some recently, mostly because we watched a show.
Yeah,
and I wanted to play some Twisted Metal, and it's not existent anymore. There needs to be more. You listening, game companies, producers, whatever who the fuck works in the game business. We need vehicular combat. Like I used to play Vigilante 8. You ever play that?
No.
It's like the same thing, but like set in the 70s, and it's a 64 game, and like it's just the same shit.
Yeah.
You know, you destroy each other's vehicle.
Okay.
Fun. All fun, but GoldenEye.
Yeah.
GoldenEye set a standard. Weirdly, wasn't really replicated or surpassed until I think Call of Duty with first-person shooters. And then once that happened, the world ended.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like a bunch of Chads
agree.
and Kyles all fucked each other and with monster cans, and then had a good night. But GoldenEye was another 64 vehicle.
Yeah.
The 4-player multiplayer just kind of brought everyone together.
Yeah.
And you could play as your favorites. You could play as Oddjob. You could play as Jaws. It was great.
Yeah.
And I think
the fact that N64 was the first one to have four
not
ports.
necessarily, but yes.
Well, I know. I'm pretty sure there was in the Super Nintendo. I think it was like an adapter.
Yeah, you can get a multi-tap. They called it,
but it didn't. It didn't start with an adapter. Like it was a 2-player. It was a 2-player system that you could add the adapter.
You could play Super Bomberman with like 5 people. That shit was chaos, dude.
But again, Super Nintendo was the first one to be like, "Hey, Chris, 4-player."
Your thoughts on?
Well,
I'm going GoldenEye.
Yeah, you're going GoldenEye. I was thinking this was gonna be one that Sony would show for. Twisted Metal is cool. I actually have a random story that one time I like ran away from school. Like I used to have to go to this after school program, and one time I just decided not to, and I like walked home with like a friend that like lived near the school, and the cops came looking for me, and I was like playing Twisted Metal in this kid's house.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was crazy.
I had no idea.
But yeah, that's like one of Twisted Metal. Here's the thing. Sony having the PlayStation, it was also a 2-player. So yeah. Like Twisted Metal was a lot of fun. When I think slumber parties, for some sleepovers, when I think of it was very rare that I went to a sleepover where it was just me and another dude.
Right.
Like it was usually like multiple people.
A group, yeah.
And I feel like that's what made N64 so powerful for like people that had them.
Yeah.
Is like you immediately could play the 4-player games. There wasn't like a lot of like PlayStation, Twisted Metal, you had a bunch of things, but like if there were more than 2 people, you had to just switch off. Like, you won that. Yeah.
For real.
So I'm gonna go Twisted Metal only to make it difficult for Mike. Well, not really difficult for Mike, but only to advocate once again for PlayStation, my fellow Sony brethren.
Like I was saying, like I didn't play Twisted Metal till late, and I kind of regret that I wasn't because I didn't have a PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
And it kind of bums me out that I didn't get to enjoy the early days of Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
And those games. We were kind of just a Nintendo family from the get.
It's interesting.
And we had the option to get a PlayStation 1. I remember my dad had a buddy that was selling his, and we actually brought it home for like a week.
Hey, dude. Same shit.
Yeah.
Like, my dad came home with a PlayStation from some guy on the ship.
No. Your dad bought one because he was taking it on the ship.
Your dad bought one.
Yeah.
Your dad bought...
He didn't let me play it? How do you know more about my dad than I do?
I don't know. It's weird. But it's also funny because I know we played that system before your dad went on deployment, and then he took the PlayStation with him. I'm like, okay, we don't have it. And then you guys moved, but while he was on deployment, I also know that your dad played that fucking game in the lounge.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that it started glitching out.
What game?
I don't know what game, but I know he played it pretty aggressively. He was an RT at that time. He's sitting in the lounge. He's playing it. It's glitching out. And he took that fucking PlayStation 1 and he chunked it across the room. And he said the game cheated. So he beat the fuck out of it.
It probably did.
It probably did.
Like he brought it home for like a couple of days, and we played like Gax and stuff.
Yeah. And then he went on deployment with it, and he came back, and it was no longer there because he broke it.
Never saw it again.
Yeah.
It got destroyed.
I do just want to say, like, kind of what you're mentioning for GoldenEye, I didn't play any 007 games until Nightfire on PS2.
Really?
And it was, yeah, like it's kind of the same thing with you and Twisted Metal, where it's like, I played GoldenEye, but when we played it on Switch.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or like the occasional times I played it at a friend's house. So like my first thoughts on 007 are always Nightfire, which is why I didn't want to give it the edge
Like GoldenEye. Mike, go ahead.
GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
GoldenEye.
You already knew.
Like,
yeah.
I remember going over.
I put it on the fucking list. You already knew.
On my second tour, I remember going over your house and you had GoldenEye and like NFL Blitz.
Oh,
right.
Good game.
And
that
like,
could have been on.
Yeah, it could have been on.
Yeah, it could have been on there.
There's
games that we didn't mention.
And
there's a lot of things we didn't mention.
It was just such a like first person shooters weren't really a thing.
That kind of put it on the map, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we like you mentioned earlier that we played Perfect Dark a lot.
Right.
And if you look, the Perfect Dark is the same engine as
Perfect Dark is a sequel to 007.
Pretty much. So like everything that they wanted to work on GoldenEye, they did in Perfect Dark.
Right.
And like it was just a first person, like a multiplayer first person shooter. A Turok Rage Wars, if you will, which is also a great game for friends amongst. So GoldenEye is going through.
Yeah,
great game.
GoldenEye goes through. I think this is the second round. We're now at the second round of the video game matchups. I think these are going to be much more difficult for you guys.
I don't think so. I already know where we're going to in the finals, but
do you know?
Okay, it's the first matchup is Street Fighter versus Streets of Rage.
A lot of streets going on.
Yeah, a lot of streets. You're in a straight up city.
Who's first?
I think you are. No, you did the first because I advocated for Twisted Metal.
No, I thought I ended
you
it.
just ended GoldenEye. So you're first.
So I'm first.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We got it.
All right.
Nailed it.
Again, I'm gonna harken back to I didn't play Streets of Rage until I met you. Like it wasn't a game I knew about.
Sorry.
Street Fighter gets the nod for me.
Sure.
I know it might be a losing vote here, but it deserves a mention.
Might not. I mean, it really depends how Zach feels. I'm going Streets of Rage.
I mean, he literally just said it's one of his top 5 games.
I love Streets of
Rage 2, man. Yeah. It's just so influential. It's so badass. It's so hard, but so easy.
And it's funny because, like, I don't know how many copies this game sold. I don't know.
So it's funny because I have a copy of it, like the Sega collection for PlayStation 2.
Right.
The Sega collection for PlayStation 3. I bought it for my phone. I got it on.
I too have
Xbox.
probably bought it like 3 or 4
Switch
times
now because they got the Nintendo Online, the Sega. I probably bought like 5 copies of this game.
Right.
We used to play a drinking game with Streets of Rage. Do you remember that?
I was there.
I don't know if you lived with us.
But what was the drinking game?
But the drinking game was so you would start the level, right? We all open some shit beer, probably Coors Light or some shit, right? Some light, some good old light beer,
right?
And so like when you progressed and then like so when it was like go and you go to the next stage, take a drink.
Okay.
If you died, take a drink. Next stage, take a drink.
Okay.
And then like whatever you had left over at the end of the level, chug the beer.
Sounds aggressive, but you know what?
It was,
I would love to play that.
By the time you're like on the like marsh area with the dude with the fucking spines, like the fucking like scaly dude, you know what I'm talking about. You're wasted. But it was fun. Because you're like, whoa, and fucking fuck dudes up. Just a good beat 'em ups. I just love beat 'em ups, man. I don't know what it is.
I do too. Now, I don't even think we had it on our list, but Mario Kart. I do like a good Mario Kart.
That's a good one. That's a good like the thing with Mario Kart is I think it's gotten better.
Yeah.
So like I think nowadays it'd be really fun.
The
to do, like,
Super Nintendo one was kind of trash.
64
and then
was okay.
64
but Diddy Kong
was
Racing
pretty good.
Was superior. I'll say it. Diddy Kong Racing was superior. And don't you come at me with that Mario Kart bullshit. Okay.
I was just gonna say
Diddy Kong Racing.
Between the two of them, it's kind of a coin flip. If you like Diddy Kong, cool. If you like Mario Kart, cool. Since then, obviously, Mario Kart has only gotten better. You know?
Yeah. Diddy Kong rules.
I was a Jet Set Moto guy. Do you remember that one? Like the wave racer looking vehicles?
But again, Streets of Rage 2.
Yeah, Streets of Rage moves on. The next matchup for these semifinals, Smash Brothers,
Man, dude,
versus
Jesus,
GoldenEye. Two 4-player games.
Yep.
Two very fun. Yeah, two bangers.
Do I have the first pick?
Yeah, you do have the first pick.
This isn't even hard for me.
Really?
GoldenEye. Like, what a fucking easy pick. Smash, again, like, it's kind of one of those things. If you guys are bringing Smash to my house, this isn't a bad night. You know, but like, if you're like, hey, Potozic, bring a game, I fucking got GoldenEye.
So, oh, man. It's tough, man, because I feel like a sleepover.
I just think through all the levels, I think we can have more fun smashing through GoldenEye. You know, but
no, I know what you're saying. I just think that like the Smash Bros has the edge, just a tiny edge, and I'm gonna go with Smash Bros.
And again, we're not gonna look
because like I'll say, GoldenEye might get rudimentary at times.
If we end up with Smash, you're not hurting my feelings.
And maybe a couple hours in, you know, we're splitting hairs here, though.
Exactly. What a great. Either way, they're both.
But I'm gonna
go
games. Smash Brothers just for the fact that you can have, like you said, it's a continuous battle. Especially if you want to include, it's not really kind of little like Melee. You know, when it got to that level, it's just it's a party game.
Yeah, it's a party game. I gotta go.
Oh, we're gonna leave it on you now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Zach. I'm gonna go Smash Brothers. I wanted to lean GoldenEye because, like, in the battle of like as a kid, you're like guns.
Yeah,
right.
Guns.
You know,
James Bond, badass.
Yeah, it's definitely more like it felt more adult. It's definitely more adult than Smash Brothers. But like, what you
got, Link? You got Pikachu.
Yeah, when I think Smash Brothers, I also think of like the character you chose also dictated like your play style, so it felt like there was a wider variance.
Also, I still remember the fucking commercial. You know, they're like, "Imagine me and you, and you with me,"
and then like Donkey trips Pikachu.
So happy together, and they're beating the shit out of each other. The fact that I still remember this fucking commercial, you know, 20 plus years later,
it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty solid.
And again, you know, like I said, I picked GoldenEye. I'm not mad either way. Great game. We're gonna have fun at the sleepover.
We're gonna have fun at the sleepover, and you're gonna tell us how much fun it is. Wait, did you have the first one? Who just had the first one?
Mike did.
All right, you're gonna tell us how much fun it is because now we have the final matchup for the video game.
Yeah.
I would say this is probably an easy choice for you, maybe, but Streets of Rage 2 versus Smash Brothers.
Easy, huh? It's easy, yet it's not easy. I think the problem is, like you mentioned, it's usually not one guy. It's usually maybe 3 or 4 dudes.
Yeah.
And I just think that no matter, you know, like Streets of Rage 2 is high on my list, man. Like I said, but I think I'm going to go Smash Brothers.
Wow.
And I think it's just because of the fact that you can have more players.
If
Streets of Rage found the way to have 4 players beat up motherfucking gangsters.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did Streets of Rage 4 have 4 players, or was it only 2?
It's still 2, I think.
Okay.
I think it's just hard to get that many players on the screen. But, like, I think that's just I'm not saying anything bad about Streets of Rage, because I love Streets of Rage, and, you know.
You're thinking of the overall
party, the night,
the sleepover experience, and you're like, I want everyone to have. And
there's 3 or 4 of us. Yeah. You want all 4 of us.
There's
playing.
At least the 3 of us there.
Yeah,
right.
You know, and I think I think Smash Brothers is the right game.
Yeah, I got to agree with Zach. I think Smash Brothers is like, no one's gonna be mad. about what ended up there,
Except
but
Mike.
I think Smash Brothers is definitely like it is the quintessential like a bunch of 11-year-olds.
Yeah, just fucking
like
blast each other off a cliff.
Bro, I got Smash.
Yeah. This guy's like everyone wants to hang out at this guy's house because he Smash, you know, like
absolutely.
I'm a little disappointed.
Did you think Streets of Rage was gonna go all the way?
I did.
Man. Yeah. I thought so until I really thought about it.
Look, you know, buddy, you brought up a valid point. You know, the idea that, you know, let's say that the three of us were hanging out back in 1997, 1998, or getting Smash came out in 99. So let's say it was 99. All three of us could play Smash. You know, whereas, you know, all three of us are hanging out. It's 1999. We're playing Streets of Rage. We're taking turns. So I do agree with you. Me personally, Streets of Rage 2 is just such a top game for me. You know, I will never pick against it.
I think it's because you owned it and like you were like, the other two fuckers are gonna rotate. I'm gonna be player one no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, but
they can figure out who's playing next.
But then again, you know, I'm not really like that. I would give Chris my controller. I love that game so much. So of course, you know, I'm picking Streets of Rage 2. But at the same time, it's one night. You know, and I assume it's Friday.
Yeah.
Like in my head, it's a Friday night, not a Saturday night, but it's Friday. We're going to have a really good time playing Smash.
Yeah.
So, like, again...
Yeah, like, I'm not taking anything away from Streets of Rage.
Yeah,
so
again, you know...
I think that I'm, like, bashing.
In my mind, it was either Smash, or it was GoldenEye, or it was Streets of Rage. So, like...
They're all good games.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, like, either way, like, we're still having a really good time. And you two are like, hey, Mike... At least all four of us can play. We're doing Smash. And like, again,
like... the greater good.
So for the greater good, like, we're having a better time. So
the video game.
I'm not going to hate it.
Yeah, that is the ultimate video game then. So we've done 2 regions for our Ultimate 90s sleepover. We've chosen a movie, and that is Mortal Kombat. Mm-hmm. And we've chosen a video game. We're all playing Smash.
Right. So we're gonna. This is gonna be the end of the first episode.
Okay.
So we're gonna keep going, but we're gonna
take a breather.
It's gonna be in the second part of this sleepover bracket. I don't know what you want to call it.
90s sleepover.
90s slumber party extravaganza tournament. So tune in next week. When we get the snacks and drinks and we get the
toys.
Yeah. And find out toys. And then find out the final components to the
Ultimate 90s Sleepover.
Ultimate 90s slumber party.
Shin and sofa out.
All right, DeGINerates. That's all the time we had today. We hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like or follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or really wherever you get your podcasts. And you can always reach out to us on Instagram or DM. Just look up Gin and Sofa Pod. Gin and Sofa, out.